Good morning, and how is everybody doing today? Let me just give me 2 ticks till I get all my software doing what it's meant to be doing. There we go, sorted. So this, as you know, our monthly challenge is letting go. And I've been coming on and just doing a quick short version of it because I think that's really helpful. You know, given that it's full moon, given that we're living in quite challenging times, I think it's really important just to be reminded. It's really easy to think about all the big things that we have to deal with, and to forget about the kind of smaller, annoying things that we have to deal with. So what I'm going to talk about today is the blaming, shaming, complaining. You know, I've been banging on about this for years, and the way I see it, it's very much three-dimensional thinking, which is bring others down, judge, shame, complain, blame. And then the kind of 5D thinking, which, if you just see it from a physics perspective, is where it's just everything's just energy. And to have the higher perspective, not to justify your behavior, but to have a higher perspective, i.e. to see things in a way that will benefit everyone rather than just you, because there's this thing about wanting to be right and justifying your position and virtue signaling. And, you know, we're all imperfect. I know I'm certainly imperfect, a work in progress, and most of us are. And really, in an intimate setting, most of us have no idea what people are actually going through. And that's, I think, what's, again, why we have to get back to strong communities, because when we have strong communities, we know each other. We know what people have gone through. We know what their childhood's been like. We know what traumas they've been through and what the challenges that they've had, and whether they're honest or not, because nobody needs to tell you, because you know. And generally speaking, if you know people and you know their family, you're much more likely to support them rather than try to bring them down and berate them. So, but what I wanted to talk about today was the chart of emotions. So I'm not sure if you've seen this before. I took a couple of photographs because this was a real eye-opener for me when the first time I was shown this at the Sedona method. So if you're in apathy, and goes all the way across the globe through every single human, if the feeling is apathetic, and there's a lot of people been feeling like that, a lot of people with long COVID, back damage, autoimmune issues, that can be very, very challenging, huge fatigue, lots of body pain. You will be feeling dejected, hopeless, defeated, futile, negative, and powerless. That's how you'll be feeling. And then what will you be saying? You'll be saying, I can't, it won't work, I'm doomed, it's no use. And you will behaving in a passive, unfocused, inattentive, disassociated, forgetful, giving up way. And that's really goes for all of us. And I'm sure everybody will have felt like that at some time. Normally, if you're suffering from depression or anxiety, or if you're physically very unwell. And then grief. And I mean, I've been at so many funerals, and I'm going to another one this week. So grief's a real, it's a real present one with me and a lot of my loved ones and people that we know. So abandoned, defective, repentant, guilty, lost, inept, and then feeling like a victim. It's not my fault, I never get it right, and acting helpless, moping, needy, dramatising and seeking comfort. And there's nothing wrong with any of these things. The reason I want to talk about this today is to understand, when you really fully understand that nothing is personal, and not to take things personally. What happens, because obviously I've been doing this for so long, is that if somebody wants to bring me down or reacts to me, the first thing I think of is, oh, they're in pain. Because what do we know is that when you're, and Eckhart Tolle talks about this, people who are in an unconditional love frequency do not bring others down. It's just as simple as that. Because you don't see the apparent others the way you do in a 3D reality. You see an interconnection of all beings, and you realise that really we're here to start bringing each other up. So if somebody is attacking you or bringing you down, or if you hear that somebody's talking about you, as Eckhart Tolle would say, that's the pain body coming up. And then if my pain body or your pain body comes up, then think about it. This is somebody in expansion, then this is somebody in contraction. If I go into contraction and pain too, and then we start to hit off each other. Whereas if I can stay in expansion and just send love to this person and help them get into expansion, it's a win-win situation. Now, that's not always possible. But what we really need to learn to do in these challenging times is not to allow this person to turn us into this person. That's when we get to loggerheads, and that's when we want to win. That's when we want to be right. That's when we want to justify our position, where we feel that we are superior to the apparent others. So, for example, somebody in anger is resentful, malicious, willful, explosive, stern, disturbed. And it's my way, do it my way. I'll never give in. You are in my way. I am right. And behaving in an attacking, judging, shaming, resistant, inflexible, pushy way. That's anger. Lust is another really interesting one. And you can see this on my profile on Facebook if you're interested. So you've intense, selfish, covert, addictive, manic, and greedy, ambitious, insatiable, jealous, voracious, longing. And so all of that can almost feel like, well, you need these things, that you're still this person as opposed to this person. And as we move up into courageousness, acceptance, and peace, focused, grounded, assured, alive, eager, resilient. Let's work together. Let's take risks. Let's make it fun and effortless. Resourceful, decisive, cooperative, dynamic, spontaneous, and supportive. So where would you rather be? And why does it matter? Let's go into peace, because I love peace. Awareness, calm, centered, free, fulfilled, light, complete. All is well. Everything is unfolding as it should be. We are one. Connected, serene, composed, poised, witnessing, and infinite. And how lovely is that? So, as we work on ourselves, which is really the only person that we can change, as we work on ourselves, we want to stay in these higher vibrational states. Why? Because all of these emotions affect our internal organs. Let me get this up. And let's do that. So the anger is affecting the liver, the gallbladder, and the eyes. So we're having an impact. You can be drinking all the carrot juice in the world, drinking all the water, taking all your supplements, that if you're angry, that's how it affects the liver. Negatively, you're having a negative impact. You're tormenting that organ. But if you are generous, generous of spirit, generous of others, generous with your time, with your love and with your kindness, that has a positive effect on your eyes and your liver and your gallbladder. Now, these are your routes of elimination. This is how things get through the body on a physical level. So it's really, really important to understand if your liver's under stress, it could be anger. So let's look at the anxiety and trust, because that's a big, big issue for a lot of people. Trust. Who do we trust? What information do we trust? And can we trust the apparent others? Are we anxious all the time, expecting the worst? Do we have a hostile perception on the world? Are we this person as opposed to this person? So anxiety affects the stomach, the spleen, and the pancreas. That's a lot of things, isn't it? And, anxiety is often felt in the solar plexus. I mean, we can go down a rabbit hole as to how far we'd go with this. So anxiety is affecting these organs. So, and we know this. If somebody's really negative, the first thing I will think of is they've got dysbiosis in the gut. So that will tell me that is the dysbiosis in the gut can be creating the anxiety. And the anxiety, of course, can also create dysbiosis in the gut. So, and we know this, when you are calm, you can rest and digest your food. And when you are stressed, the body struggles to digest. It takes far more energy. So again, this person's going to be eating their food and digesting their food, regardless of what it is, in a completely different way from this person. So this is why it's so important not to be blaming, shaming, and complaining. And if you're around people who do that, to recognize it, because it's really easy. These hormones of stress are very addictive. And when you get really high on them, as you can, I mean, there's nothing better than a good rant. When you get high on the hormones of stress and you're distrustful and nasty about others, your body, your internal organs are receiving that information. Nobody else is. But also, if you're very intuitive and then empathic, I couldn't find the word there, then you can very often get drawn into other people's negativity and drama and stress. So that's where you have to go, oh, and the commandment about, don't bring your neighbour down or speak ill of your neighbour. I can't remember the exact words. A lot of the stuff that people say when they gossip is just not true. It's a perception of events based on how, guess what, they were feeling. So when you feel that way and you look out at the world, you will see everything. When people come to me and they say, I don't know where to start, I know straight away they're in a negative emotion, because as soon as emotions are energy in motion, they can be released. And when you release from apathy all the way up to courage, acceptance, or peace, instantly everybody looks different. And your organs get peace. I mean, it's crazy. Let's look at grief and courage. Lungs, the skin, and the large intestine. That's what gets affected by grief. The lungs, the breath, your connection to life. And we know that now. So many people struggling with breathing. And there can be physical reasons as well for that, obviously. But often holding that level of grief, and you might not even know it's there. It's like that elastic band you've had around your wrist all day. You felt it tight and then you forgot about it. And that's how this stuff lingers in the body. The body holds the score. So when you're courageous and you stand up for yourself and stand up for others, then your lungs, your skin, and your large intestine like that. So let's look at the heart and the small intestine, because this is my word of this year is patience. When you're trying to heal or in the process of healing autoimmune and chronic disease, you absolutely need patience. Very often, a leg, a bone can take maybe 6, 8, 12 weeks to heal. Skin can maybe take 2 days, 3 days, all different times. Different things take different times to heal. When we go into the digestive system and we're looking at the organs and particularly in the terms of healing and detoxing, the roots of elimination, they can take up to years to heal properly. And that's when they're given the right environment. And this is why I always bang on, like about Carolyn Mace, there's nothing worse than a vengeful vegetarian. If it's the emotion, because remember, the emotions are magnetic in nature. So they're powerful. They're going out into the field. So being very mindful of the tongue and what is coming out the mouth is every bit as important as what is going into it. So your heart and your small intestine are being affected by impatience. Impatience, 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 and things not coming quickly enough, etc. But also, they get affected by love. So if you're looking at another human being with hate, resentment, jealousy, well, it's your heart and your intestine that's going to be affected by that. And that can be a big challenge because there are a lot of assholes out there, let's face it. But are they? Is that just a perception and a judgment? What we have to do is understand that people are not their behaviour. If people are spouting pain and bringing others down, it's coming from the pain body. When you're in an unconditional love state, when you're in these high vibrational, you will be thinking you're appreciative, you're gentle, you're understanding, you're empathetic, receptive and balanced. And that's where we're all striving to be, I think, isn't it? That's certainly where I'm striving to be, not only because these feelings feel so much nicer, also you don't destroy your body. So if on a daily basis you have this hostile perception of the world, your body gets the constant message, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, you will inevitably put yourself into fight or flight. Your IQ will drop. The blood will be displaced. Your hormonal system will go into chaos. Are there any more reasons you need to try and stay out of these negative emotions, to break the habit of complaining, blaming and shaming, and to start really being hugely grateful for where you're at right now and what we've got? That's just my take on it. So let's just do a quick fire round of EFT before we finish, so that you can really not just talk the talk, you can really walk the walk, which means get into the feeling of it, practice it. And when you catch somebody else bringing others down, you catch yourself doing it, you break that habit. No, don't let the poison come out around the apparent others. It's not good for your organs. It's not good for the people in your circle. It's not good for anyone. And that therein lies the challenge with a mission like Heal Scotland, where we can all work together, connected, composed, infinite, supportive, spontaneous, dynamic, cooperative, decisive, in order for us to function at that level and have fun and change our health trajectory. I can't see it working any other way than if we collaborate and we move into these higher vibrations and these higher levels of consciousness. Because this fighting against each other, bringing each other down, competing doesn't work. Look at the state of the place. Look at the war. And be the change you want to see in the world. If you want peace, world peace, you need to be at peace. It's frequency. It's not rocket science. It's just the way it is. I didn't make it up. That is quantum physics for you. It's all vibration. It's all energy. And we are energy in an energetic field. And our heart can give out love, or it can complain, blame and shame. The choice is ours. How do you do that when you want to strangle somebody? Let's tap. So even although sometimes I react, sometimes I get angry at the apparent others, sometimes I want to hit out at the apparent others. Sometimes I just cannot understand why the apparent others behave the way that they do. Sometimes it makes my blood boil. Sometimes it makes me sad. I have this whole range of emotions that I can feel when I get triggered by the apparent others. And sometimes I blame, shame, and complain. Sometimes I judge others and I bring them down. But even although I am not yet perfect, I deeply and completely love, trust, and accept myself. Keep tapping, keep breathing. And even although life can be challenging, and even although I don't have the energy that I used to have or I want to have, and even although I should on myself, I should be doing this and I should be doing that, and I should be doing the next thing. Keep tapping, keep breathing, allow the moon to pull all the nonsense out. So even although I should know better, but sometimes I fall down into the negativity. And even although I should know better, I sometimes eat the wrong foods, don't do the right exercise. I'm not yet perfect. But even although that happens, I deeply and completely love, trust, and accept myself. And I'm now open to letting go of these old habits and old ways of being. I'm releasing all need to bring the apparent others down. I allow myself to see the pain body. I allow myself to feel compassion and love, even under attack from the apparent others. Keep tapping, keep breathing. And I'm letting go of all judgment. I allow my vibration to rise. I allow my body to have the peace and the love it deserves for carrying me around this planet. I'm letting go of taking anything personally. And I'm letting go of wishing anybody or anything was different. I am grateful for those who have brought amazing skills and talents into my life. And that have helped me to flourish under these turbulent times. I allow my energy to rise, and I allow all judgment to dissolve. I am a powerful spiritual being, and I am aware when I am transmitting negative energies and when I am transmitting positive energy. And I allow myself to learn quickly how to switch into these higher vibrational energies and feelings where I can affect others positively. And letting go of any addiction to the hormones of stress, to drama, to complaining, blaming, and shaming. Keep tapping, keep breathing. I allow myself to expand. I allow myself to be at peace. I allow myself to be the observer instead of the judge. I allow myself to witness. I allow myself to stay in a neutral, non-judgmental place. Because I can. I have the power to change if I desire. And I allow my body, my heart, to feel love and gratitude. I am a loving, unconditionally loving, peaceful energy mass, wishing only the best for every being in suffering on this planet. I allow myself to be the change, to vibrate love, and to expand into these higher energies where my body will heal. Amazing. So EFT is just such a simple, I mean, there's millions of ways to do it. You might do it differently from me. It doesn't matter. As long as you feel that release, feel that ease. When we understand that we are mirroring into the field, the energetic field, and I was talking to my daughter about this yesterday about, she's like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Because it's very, and I said this to my friend when I was away, I live in a different world because I see everything as a unified field of energy. Nothing can be personal when you perceive the world like that. You just see behaviours, and I'm not saying I never get triggered, because clearly I do, but I understand that's my trigger. It's nothing to do with anyone else. And that's when you go into doing the work on yourself, the feeling and letting it go, the tapping, and maybe the emotion codes, to get right in and go, what is causing this system to repeat? Am I living through the past? Or am I in habits and conditioning and programming and other people's points of view? Or am I really functioning from the heart? Because this is the way I see it now, is that we're moving from the conscious logical mind into the heart, where a lot of logic just doesn't exist there, because the heart speaks to us in feelings. It's a powerful electromagnetic organ that understands things way before the mind does. And we have a lot of data to support that. And so when you can feel things, you either feel something, you think there's something not right with this is a lie, and you can work out whether it really is a lie, or if you're filtering from some experience in the past, or if your heart's giving you live and real-time information. And that kind of level of work takes practice, really focusing in your heart. What are you giving out from the heart? What are you feeling? What reactions are coming in? Because there's so much information stored in the body. We have to decipher whether it's from the past, and we're projecting a fear from the past into the future, because that's what can happen as we get older. And they say that particularly men over 50, can start to turn into Victor Meldrew, which is interesting, because that's when we're literally working through the program. And I was telling my brothers about this. I read the stat somewhere recently. So that's when we have to go, oh, that's not relevant to now. That's the past. And when it comes to letting go, in order to continue to have as much fun, in order to continue to allow your body to have lots of energy flowing through it, because ultimately it comes about energy flow, then you have to let go of the past, because your hard drive will be full of all the garbage that we've collected. So really getting in there and letting go, and it takes courage to let go. I always say that to people. Most people like to hold on, like to be right, like to justify, like to virtue signal, and all of that, which is just all the ego stuff, the pain body stuff, the fear of admitting that we're wrong. You look at the politicians right now, they're changed their minds. Good. I've changed my mind in loads of things over the years. If you're not changing your mind and opening your perspective, then you're stuck in the past. So all of that is really relevant to now. So use the techniques. It's really simple to, when you're feeling good, to think, I don't need anything. But practice, 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 even when you're feeling great. What do you want to attract in? What is it that are you talking about what you don't want, or are you talking about what you want? I'll go into more of that later on in the month. Anyway, for now, I am off ski and I've got a busy day ahead, and I hope you benefited from that. You've learned from that. If you're watching this in replay, if you get any questions, just ping them into the box and I'll come back to you. And I really hope you feel much lighter and much more empowered, and have a brilliant weekend. Ciao.